What's going on, everybody? Friday, October 18th, 2024. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. The Al Smith dinner was last night. Al Smith dinner is always a good time. It's always a good time. For those of you who don't know what it is, we'll go over what the Al Smith dinner is, who is Al Smith, why it's such a fun time. Donald Trump stole the stage last night, calling out virtually everybody in the room. He had some great one-liners. Shout out to Jim Gaffigan, legendary comedian who emceed the event last night. Great job all around. Of course, Kamala Harris was a no-show. Although she did send in a video that might be one of the cringiest damn things I have ever seen in my entire life. I've ever seen in my entire life. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. Also, we've got some breaking news out of Georgia, out of the Peach State. Donald Trump is making gigantic gains with black men in that state. I'm not sure if you've been there. I'm not sure if you've been to Atlanta. Do we have Georgia locked up? Also, Donald Trump's chances of winning a landslide victory. A landslide victory gets better and better every single day. I have some exclusive news out of New York, which I have triple confirmed happened here on Long Island. We'll discuss whether or not it's real, whether or not it is what it is. And also, two members of the Trende Aguara gang have now been arrested for killing people in Connecticut. Go figure. Go figure. And we're gonna wrap up the week with an interesting story about young Democratic women and what they will and will not do, and why that is. Before we get started today, guys, hit that thumbs up button, share the video out all over the place, share it out. Let's pop this live chat up onto where the hell did it go? Where's my live chat? There it is. How's everybody doing today? Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. Callie, what's going on? I think I talked to you all day, which isn't awful. Very good. Our star, Andrew Hobart, how are you? Yes, Jim Gaffigan is definitely a liberal, but I am a fan of comedy and I like to laugh. And it was fun. It was absolutely fun. AC Knight, what's happening? Angela, how are you? How are you? Marissa, how are you? Regina, how are you? Make sure you guys share this video out all over the place. Hit that share button wherever you're watching the video. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure you repost it. Giddy up. Let's go. So we're going to be talking about the Al Smith dinner today. The Al Smith dinner is a good time in New York. For those of you who don't know, Al Smith was one of the first Catholic politicians in America. He was a legend in New York, rose up from virtually nothing. He was the first Roman Catholic to be nominated for the President of the United States by a major party. His 1928 presidential candidacy mobilized both Catholic and anti-Catholic voters. Many of the Protestants at the time feared his candidacy, believing that the Pope in Rome would dictate his policies. Smith was also a committed wet, i.e., he was opposed to prohibition. So, good stuff. As any of you know me, I am also opposed to prohibition in the most stringent way possible. He was also the governor of New York. Al Smith, an absolute legend here, raised right under the Brooklyn Bridge on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. He was notoriously linked to the Tammany Hall scandals that were going on in New York. Look, that's not so much a critique of him as it is a critique of New York City in that time. For those of you who have seen Gangs of New York, you know Boss Tweed was the early beneficiary of the Tammany Hall era in New York. He sought the 1932 Democratic nomination was eventually defeated by FDR, who, of course, went on to serve 4 terms. He was a vocal opponent to Roosevelt's New Deal. Safe to say, look, he was against the New Deal. He liked himself a drink. Certainly a fan of Al Smith. He was a Democrat, but, you know, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. So every year, the Al Smith Society, Al Smith Foundation has, not every year, every presidential year, they welcome in the opposing presidential candidates. Obviously, they didn't do it in 2020 because of COVID. They very famously did it in 2016, where Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump pretended to enjoy each other's company for about an hour and a half. Pretty funny stuff. Last night was the Al Smith dinner. It is hosted by the New York Archdiocese. Cardinal Dolan runs the event. Every rich person in New York goes to it. When you see the clips, you're going to see Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, Michael Bloomberg, Roger Goodell. You know, it's a real who's who of people who have an ungodly amount of money. But they host what would otherwise be called a roast. A roast where each presidential candidate gets to take jabs at each other. Now, with that being said, there was not able to be a roast yesterday because Kamala Harris, of course, did not show up. She did not show up, but that did not stop. That did not stop Donald Trump from taking swipes at virtually everybody in the room. He hit Tim Walz. He hit Mayor Bill de Blasio to his face. The guy's in the room. And Donald Trump abused him. Mayor Eric Adams, he had a little bit of fun at his expense. He called Chuck Schumer a woman. He told Doug Emhoff to stay away from the nannies. There was a lot of fun yesterday. Here were the top 5 moments of the Al Smith dinner. I think Colin Rugg put this together, so here it is.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. A major issue in this race is child care, and Kamala has put forward a concept of a plan. A lot of people don't like it. The only piece of advice I would have for her in the event that she wins would be not to let her husband, Doug, anywhere near the nannies. Just keep them away. That's a nasty one. Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
It's just a fun night. It's just a fun night. Of course, you know that those were the top moments, but there were so many of them that were very. Whoever wrote Donald Trump's speech, well done, guys. Whoever wrote those jokes did a phenomenal job. He went after Mayor Eric Adams. He basically looked over at Eric Adams and goes, "Boy, they're really coming after you, but that is peanuts compared to what they're doing to me." Which is funny because when you see the wide shot, you see that gigantic woman, Letitia James, sitting in the back of the room, who has indicted 3 of the people sitting in the room herself, which had to be pretty awkward at the coat check. But that wasn't all. Mayor Bill de Blasio was in the room, and Donald Trump decided to have a field day with him as well.
As I look around the dais, I see all of the usual suspects. For instance, Mayor Adams. I'd like to poke some fun at Eric, but I'm going to be nice. I just want to be nice because I know what it's like to be persecuted by the DOJ for speaking out against open borders. We were persecuted, Eric. I was persecuted, and so are you, Eric. The mayor's dietary restrictions are well known, but I've got to say I've never met a person who's a vegan who liked turkey so much. There's something about him with turkey. I just found that out today. You know, I haven't been in New York that much. Don't let it, but you're going to win, Eric. We have another former New York City mayor with us, frankly, easily the worst in our history. And it's not Michael, that I can tell you. I'm surprised that Bill de Blasio was actually able to make it tonight, to be honest. He was a terrible mayor. I don't give a shit if this is comedy or not. He was a terrible mayor. He did a horrible job. That's not comedy, by the way, that's fact. But unlike the rest of New York, at least Bill doesn't have to worry about the criminals. They owe him big. He let them get away with a lot of stuff. Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas.
I mean, that's brutal. That's asshole. First, and I just want to say a couple things. First off, Bill de Blasio, how the hell do you have enough money to be in that room? How do you even know? I guess that must have been the $800 million that your wife stole from the city of New York. I guess that's how you bought that $50,000 a plate dinner. But not really the point. Not really the point. We've got to get to the response, because I'm going to be generous here. I'm going to be generous to Kamala Harris. I shouldn't be, but I'm going to be generous to her. Because obviously this is a night of joking and, people having fun, taking jabs at each other. Kamala Harris sent in a video, because God forbid she showed up for anything. Oh, my favorite part, I don't have the clip of it. But can I pull the clip? Hold on. Where is it? Donald Trump said that Tim Walz wasn't here, but if you ask him, he'll say that he was. Do I have it? Let me see here. Let's see if I can pull it real quick. Give me 2 seconds. And then we'll get to Kamala Harris's ridiculous response. One of the most ridiculous things I think I've ever heard. Where is it? There we go. Donald Trump, of course, took a dig at Tim Walz over his stolen valor. Here that was.
But unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself. But don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was.
Governor Walz isn't here, but he's going to say that he was. There were so many good moments of the day. There was the nanny episode. Donald Trump was supposed to do some self-deprecating humor, but Donald Trump can't physically do that, so he decided to have even more fun with it.
Tradition holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening, so here it goes. Nope. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time, and they shoot at.
You see Cardinal Dolan sitting there on the bottom right. He's the Cardinal of the Archdiocese of New York. Then there's, of course, when he called him a woman, which was hilarious. But we got to get to the Kamala episode, because Kamala Harris might be the least authentic person who has ever lived. She teamed up with Molly Shannon from Saturday Night Live, who, look, if you're a 90s kid like me, Molly Shannon was great on Saturday Night Live. This, however, not so great. Before we get to that, Mike Lindell.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Guys, head on over to mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's mypillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's mypillow.com, promo code LOUD. Guys, hit that thumbs up button before we get into this because strap in. Because there's nothing like watching Molly Shannon dress up like a Catholic schoolgirl at the age of 60 to help Kamala Harris, who is not a Catholic, do jokes at a Catholic roast that she didn't feel like showing up to. Strap in. Strap in for just 2.5 minutes of cringe.
And distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Gallagher. Mary Catherine Gallagher. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
First off, Kamala Harris, you're not a part of it. You're not there.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, 'cause Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also one last thing I want to tell you. Don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Kamala.
Thank you.
No. I feel like everything I just that just look. That just wasn't funny. First off, the insulting people in Detroit while in Detroit thing, not funny. Thou shalt never question election results. Guys, come on. All the comedians are on your side. How could that have been that bad? That just wasn't bad. Also, Molly Shannon, look, you're a huge part of my childhood. It's just not funny when you're 60. It's just not. It's like hearing Green Day do songs about being rebellious. It's not cute anymore. You're 55. Like, I don't know. Come up with something new, guys. You're not 20 anymore. Nothing like these aging social beings to try to just ruin everything. I mean, that was just so bad. I really liked not good at all. But it's just proof. It's just more proof that Kamala Harris can ruin everything. Can ruin anything. Wow. So she didn't have the balls to show up, and then she did a joke about Catholics. I don't know. Whoever whoever did that, you missed. It's just so, and I hate when people go cringe. Like, that's not a political analysis, but damn, that was bad. That was bad. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second.
The biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you could take.
It has all the essential nutrients you need for your skin, your gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
I used to have a probiotic, a green juice that replaced it all with this Arma colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
If you want to try it, try arma.com.
Guys, check out the superfood formula over at tryarmra.com/LFATV. That is tryarmra.com/LFATV. I want to pop this live chat, say hello to everybody. Angela, how are you? Jeanette, how are you? Carl, how are you? Les, how are you? Marie, what's happening? Cindy, what's going on? Kidnet, Goose, how is the McGroin crew? Haven't seen the McGroin crew in a while. Haven't seen y'all in a while. I want to make sure I get you guys in there. Lynn, how are you? Idaho Green Eyes. I like that. A lot of people from Idaho in the chat. I'm liking it. Natalie, how are you? Obviously, the Al Smith dinner last night went a little bit better than the Mets game. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to forget that happened. We're going to move on. Tonight, let's go. Game 5. We're just not going to talk about the Met game last night. We're going to pretend it didn't happen. Moving right along. Guys, hit those thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. So, as we can see, Donald Trump absolutely skewered Kamala Harris last night. And we're beginning to see a trend in cultural moments, okay? The Al Smith dinner, obviously, maybe it's not the most populous cultural moment. That's something that costs like $25,000 a plate. But we are beginning to see Donald Trump do things that people don't traditionally do in politics, particularly on the Republican side. And we're getting reports, I'm getting reports out of Georgia from people I'm friends with on the ground there, that the early vote turnout for Republicans is astronomical. Astronomical. Why? Well, a number of factors. Number one, we're comparing the numbers of early voting to the early vote numbers in 2020, where many Democrats voted from home and voted early because of COVID. They were afraid of the air. Republicans were not afraid of the air. So seeing early voting numbers shooting up amongst Republicans in some of these swing states is good news for Donald Trump, particularly in one demographic area. With less than 3 weeks to go before the election, black male voters in Georgia, a state that Biden won in 2020, are now speaking out about their reasons on why they're going to vote for Donald Trump in November. Joseph Parker, who attended former Bill Clinton's campaign speech at Mount Zion Baptist Church in rural Georgia, told Politico, Trump's a man of his word. He says what he's going to do, and he does it. Months of public polling have shown despite 80% of the black vote going to Biden in 2020, the black male vote may have shifted in Trump's favor per the outlet. And now everything is so high. Groceries, clothes, gas, everything. 4 years ago, it wasn't that high. So people are seeing a difference in Kamala Harris and Trump, and they want some of what they had 4 years ago. And I do too, Parker said. 28-year-old Arthur Buford said he'll be voting for the first time in this election and cast his vote for Donald Trump, despite his family members being Democrat all the way. He said that he hears similar remarks from other young men at the gym speaking out about Trump being funny, entertaining, and brave. Yeah, we just saw that. Sorry about that, I got something in my eye. He is fun. He said, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Trump, but I'll definitely take Trump over Harris. He said he was impressed by Trump's business experience and that Harris just seems to have been giving everything in her career. Samuel Kern, a 25-year-old black voter from Kennesaw, voted for Biden in 2020 due in part to news coverage painting Trump as not leading well during the pandemic. In the 2024 election, Kem, who graduated from Savannah College of Art and Design last year, will be casting his vote for Trump. He cited the high cost of living that forced him to live with his family, as well as migration issues under the Biden-Harris ticket. A paid door knocker for the Faith and Freedom Coalition, a 47-year-old woman who was a member of the Haitian community and moved to Lawrenceville 3 years ago, said, "I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't like him, but now I didn't like him, but now I like him. I don't like when Democrats are talking about abortion. I don't want that. So I said, for that, I'm going to change my mind, and I'm voting for Trump." The stories go on and on and on. And why wouldn't they? It's not about how you feel about an individual person that is going to decide whether or not you're going to vote for them. It should be about results. And the last 4 years have sucked, and the previous 4 years were better. That's it. Kamala Harris can't answer for any of her policies. She's got nothing going for her. And we're starting to see these betting odds taking a huge leap forward. We're going to get to that in 1 minute. Before we do, guys, hit the thumbs up button to share the video out. Oh, where did it go? Where did my live chat go? There it is. Mindy, what's going on? Nancy, guys, we're gonna be heading out a little bit early today. I've got there's a documentary being filmed about politics on Long Island that I'm going to be taking part in. So we're going to head out of here at about 10 minutes early. Hope that's okay with everybody. We're going to give you guys something to do in that time period anyway. But what's going on, everybody? Alex Ann, how are you? Let's get a sip while we're here. Joe Spag. The one time I want the Mets to win because I want a Subway Series. Yeah, you and me both, bro. You and me both, bro. What's up, Kevin? Port Jeff Station native. How we doing, Miss DeBeat? I like that. I like that. Let's go. You guys know I like creative Rumble names on here, and I'm getting a whole hell of a lot of them. I'm getting a lot of them. Very, very good stuff. So let's dive back into the news, because we're beginning to see the odds start to shift in Donald Trump's favor, and in a very, very big way. This from Newsweek. Donald Trump's chances of winning in a landslide, according to odds and the polls. For Newsweek to be admitting this is, as some might say, huge. With just a month remaining until Election Day, polls in the several battleground states show the race within the margin of error, leaving the door open for either candidate to potentially swing all the key swing states. I don't know about that one. While Harris maintains a slim lead in a slim lead of 2 or 3 points, and holds an edge in 4 swing states, recent polling has shifted in favor of Trump. An active vote poll now shows Trump 1 point ahead nationally. A McLaughlin poll shows him leading in every swing state, and pollster Nate Silver shows that Trump has made gains in every swing state over the past week. This momentum raises the possibility of a landslide victory for Trump. But what constitutes a landslide victory? There's no previous definition, but political scientist Gerald Hill told the Associated Press that it usually means exceeding expectations and being somewhat overwhelming. Well, the map they have working out right now, let me get this map up here. Boom, bingo, bango. Let me pop this map up on the screen so you can see what some people are beginning to forecast for the Donald Trump victory. Let me make this a little smaller. Boom. That is what they're talking about, guys. 322. 322 for Donald Trump. Now, I don't want any complacency. I don't want any red wave. I don't want to hear any of that shit. I want you out working. I want you out working every single day. Are you out working right now? No. Then go out and start working. Particularly if you live in these battleground states. If we mean one candidate winning at least 100 more electoral votes than the other, then there has been 7 landslide victories in the past 50 years. To achieve this, Donald Trump would have to win all 7 swing states and flip one state that the Democrats won last time. According to 538, the closest race after the swing states that Democrats won last time would be Minnesota. Trump nearly won Minnesota in 2016 and is within striking distance this time. The polling average has her at 5.9%. Meanwhile, the online betting platform Polymarket shows Trump has a 10% chance of winning Minnesota in November. If this happened and Donald Trump won all the swing states, the former president would win 322 electoral votes compared to Kamala Harris's 216, constituting a landslide victory. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Rust Belt. We know that is where this election is going to be won and lost. Trump narrowly won the 3 states in 2016, and Biden flipped them all in 2020. 538 polling average shows Harris is currently ahead by small margins in all 3 states. In Pennsylvania, the most likely to decide the election, Harris is currently polling 0.6 ahead of Donald Trump, according to 538. Nate Silver's polling tracker shows her lead might be slightly bigger at 1% flatly. That is well within the margin of error. However, while Harris has a marginal lead in the state, which offers 19 electoral college votes, recent polls have indicated that a Trump victory is not out of the question. Nate Silver tracker shows that Trump has gained 0.3% in Pennsylvania over the last week, bringing his share of the vote total to 47.6%. and Harris to 48.6%. Harris was 1.3% ahead in the state just a week ago. Meanwhile, in the past week, polls from TIPP Insight, McLaughlin and Associates, and Emerson have shown Trump leading among likely voters by 1 percentage point, with an insider advantage poll having him up too. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable the amount of work he's been able to put in these particular swing states. Why? Because Kamala Harris is inherently unlikable. The polls in Wisconsin and Michigan look less favorable for Harris, who currently leads by 0.6 in the Badger State and 0.7 in the Wolverine State. I wonder if people in Michigan get mad that it's the Wolverine State and not the Spartan State. Speaking of Spartans, back to Saturday Night Live again. Boom, there you go. Full circle. According to 538, Silver's tracker shows it up 1 in both states, respectively. It's going to be razor thin. It's going to be razor thin margins. Arizona, that Biden won in 2020 after Trump won it 4 years earlier, and this year could be too close to call. In Nevada, Biden scored a narrow victory in 2020, although the state hasn't given its electoral votes to a Republican since 2004. Silver's tracker also shows that Trump has gained 0.4% in Nevada in the last week and made a marginal gain of 0.1%. Is it going to be enough time? Is it going to be enough time? Meanwhile, an Emerson College poll puts Harris ahead by just 1 point, well within the poll's margin of error of 3.2%. If Kamala Harris is only up 1 nationally, this is the ball game. But you got to get out. You got to vote early. Each one of you, how many people we got watching? Let's see. What do we got here? 1,000 people watching on Rumble. 500 people watching on X. Every one of you needs to bring one person with you to the polls who don't normally vote. That is what will decide this election. If you go to the polls alone, you have failed. But Kevin, I don't have anyone to bring with me. Go to the supermarket and just grab someone and drag their ass to the polls, okay? I don't care if it's the guy working behind the counter. Scoop his ass up, put him in the car, drive to the polling location, vote, and then he can go back to work. That is what this election is going to come down to, particularly if you live in any of the swing states. That's what this election is going to come down to. You got to do it. Somebody's watching me says, that's assault, sir. No, it's not. No, it's not. Cut that crap out. Cut that crap out. But I've got some exclusive news for you guys out of the state of New York, which could really open things up. which could really, really open things up. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Before we do that, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad, your batter's box. For all things LFA TV related, make sure you guys check out the LFA TV store. While you're there, consider becoming a monthly donor, $5-10 a month over to LFA TV. That's the best way to keep this network going. Guys, this is user-generated content, and we can't do it without your help. We also appreciate all of your Rumble rants for all of our on-the-ground journalism that we're going to be planning on doing moving forward on this network. So, guys, go to LFA TV. .us, that's lfatv.us. Also, for our local viewers, I will be up in Westchester County this weekend. I'll be up in Westchester County this weekend in upstate New York for a rally with the Westchester Putnam Patriots. Super excited about that. For all the local people who don't want to go up to Islip, up to Westchester. Sunday, I will be at the Islip Street Fair. That is going to be the last voter registration drive we're going to be doing here in New York, as the deadline is on the 26th. If you want to get involved, message me. It's not like half of you don't have my damn number at this point. Just call me. We'll get you involved. Giddy up. Let's go. So, yes, Callie. If you would be so kind as to please put that link in the chat. If you'd be so kind as to put that link in the chat. Tonight, firstly, I want to thank everybody so much who have donated to the hurricane relief supplies that's going down to North Carolina. Tonight, we'll be sending a second tractor trailer, a second 53-foot trailer down to North Carolina. Because of all the donations, we had to get a third tractor trailer. A third tractor trailer. Holy crap. Holy crap. We had to get a third tractor trailer. We're going to be doing another drive next week. Follow me on all the social medias for all of the updates about that. But if you're watching this nationally, please do consider donating. There's going to be an Amazon wish list link in the comments. It's in the chat. I mean, holy crap. We're going to be sending a lot down there, guys. So I want to thank you all so much for that. If you're one of the local people, stay tuned. We're going to be doing some stuff on the island. Stay tuned for all that good stuff. Miss Mocha Power, how are you? How are you? So, I want to give you guys some exclusive news about the state of New York. Some of you may know this. If you follow me on any of the other social medias. But I have gotten reports. Oh, no. Eli, don't do that. No, Eli, that's okay. That's okay, Eli. Callie just got it. Yeah. No, that's okay. That's funny. I'm posting it now. I'll post it in there. I can't wait to laugh about that later. It's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. Skylar Lee, Kevin just started watching your show a few weeks ago and I'm hooked. Thank you so much. We appreciate everybody watching. Oh, I'm going to laugh about that. I'm getting texts right now. That's really funny as hell. So, back to the show. Yeah, that's funny as hell. So, I'm going to give you guys some exclusive updates about the state of New York. Now, do I trust Kathy Hochul? Not really. Not really. However, I now have 3 confirmed sources. I have 3 confirmed sources that Kathy Hochul stood in a fire department here on Long Island and told a room full of people that Donald Trump is up 2 points in the state of New York. That Donald Trump is up 2 points in the state of New York. It wasn't me. Hold on, I got to text Callie right now. It wasn't me. It was... So, yeah. Kathy Hochul told a room full of firefighters that Donald Trump is up 2 points in the state of New York. Now, do I believe her? Not really. Not really. But for her to come here and say that it's that close, that she's got to lie about it, that Donald Trump could really win New York, this only makes me believe even more that we are headed towards a landslide victory. Why? If Donald Trump is able to pull within single digits in the state of New York, that puts the state of New Jersey in play. That puts New Hampshire in play. That puts Virginia in play. That puts Minnesota in play. That puts Donald Trump in line for a popular vote victory. A historic win. As Donald Trump said at the Al Smith dinner, the last time somebody didn't show up to the Al Smith dinner was Walter Mondale, and he lost 49 states. Because only people inherently unpopular and uncharismatic skip the Al Smith dinner. Look, I'm not talking red waves, and I'm not talking land. I don't want to talk landslides. I don't want any of you to get complacent. If you've been out there moving and grooving as an activist, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. Don't stop. We got less than 3 weeks left. Now is go time. Each and every one of you needs to find some candidate that you like and go volunteer for them. If you're waiting for something, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you're waiting to get involved, I don't know what you're waiting for. Natalie, will I be at the Garden? Yes, I will be at the Garden. I'll be working the whole time, but I will be at the Garden. If you're not getting involved at this point, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're waiting for. All signs, all roads point to us winning this bad boy if you get out and do what needs to be done. Keep pushing. Vote no on Prop 1 if you're in New York. Keep on pushing. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share this video out all over the place. Also, guys, do me a favor. Head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. That is your home. That is everything Loud Majority related. We always appreciate the support, guys, that you give this show. We can't do the sort of activism we want to do without you guys. And just as a thank you, everybody who orders anything today will be getting a free Loud Majority USA hat in the mail with any of their orders. So I want to thank everybody who has already put in those orders. If you haven't, today's the last day to get that free hat. Make sure you guys put that in. Make sure you guys order that today. So go to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Thank you all so much for the support, as always. So I want to talk about young people here. I want to talk about young people because there has been a significant trend in the American world of Democrats not being able to stand Republicans, but Republicans putting up with Democrats. Well, there's a new Axios poll out right now that says that young Democratic women would call it quits after finding out a first date supported Donald Trump. We're going to get into this because there's some interesting little nuggets in here that I want to make sure I get into. Young voters, particularly Democrats, are bringing politics into the dating world, saying that their feelings would negatively change if they found out their potential match supported Donald Trump for president. Data shows 43% of people between the ages of 18 and 34 would have a negative view of a date who favored Donald Trump, compared to 17% who said they would have a positive view, while 40% of daters indicated that there were no change. When it comes to finding out about a date who favorite Vice President Harris, 19% of millennials and Gen Z responded they would have a negative view compared to 32% who said they would have a positive view. The poll shows a gender gap on the matter, with more women on the left believing a difference in political views would be a deal breaker, whereas men who have moved more to the right said they'd be more willing to compromise. Now, why is this? There's a number of reasons. Number one, young men on a date are not there for the date. They are there for what happens after the date. So they'll pretty much say, do, and put up with anything they have to achieve step number two. But what does it say about young women who would not date a Republican? Well, as we've seen over the course of the last several years, young feminist women soon become old, lonely women. And when you immediately cut 50% of the dating pool out, it is going to be much harder to find someone to be with. We've seen this as a trend over the last couple of years, where young Democratic women suddenly turn into old, lonely women. Democrats have less kids. They abort their kids at a higher number. They sterilize their kids through transgender surgeries and weird puberty blockers. Conservative women have children. They find conservative men. They find good men. The future looks bright. The future looks bright for Republicans, and I am excited about what comes next. I am excited as this continues to go forward. I don't date New York City women. This is why. Says Mr. Shy. That's pretty funny. Come on, Mr. Shy. There's like 3 million women in New York. Come to the New York City Club. You can meet one there. Come to the New York City Club. You'll meet somebody there. Fascinating study. I'd be curious to see if they went back a couple years from now and found out how many of those Democratic women were married and how many of them were lonely cat ladies. Just saying. Just saying. Guys, we're going to wrap up a little bit early today. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Make sure this will give you plenty of time to get on over to Ryan Mata's show, which is coming up next. I have to film this documentary in like 15 minutes, so I'm sorry to cut this short. But guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. Once again, you guys get a free Loud Majority hat with every order, and you can also get 20% off with promo code LFA. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Callie's back. Callie's back. Callie has a photo of me that the world can't see, so I got threatened with that, so thank you, Eli. Thanks, Eli, for that. It's funny as hell. Funny as hell. Guys, hit the thumbs up button on the way out the door, and I'll catch you guys back live on Monday. Hopefully, I'll see you at the Islip Fair. Until then, everybody, stay loud.